Hola, hola a todos. Buenas tardes, buenos días para ustedes. Les voy dando la bienvenida. Bienvenidos a todos. Este es el séptimo evento que tenemos en los Erasmus Mundus Latam Talks. Todos han sido un éxito hasta el momento. Esperamos que sí también. No, estamos seguros que también. Para quienes no me conocen mucho, yo soy Viviana Rojas. Y para quienes no conocen mucho sobre la historia de cómo comenzó esta comunidad tan chévere de Erasmus Mundus Latam y bueno, lo que hacemos en personalbranding.pe, todo comenzó con ese video que ven ahí, este de acá, que lo publiqué hace 4 años en plena pandemia, en el 2020. Yo estaba en mi apartamento estaba en pleno Erasmus Mundus, yo estaba en mi movilidad, me tocaba estar en Finlandia, y pensé que era una buena idea publicar un video en mi canal de YouTube acerca de mi experiencia en Erasmus Mundus, contándoles un poco acerca de esta beca, que para ese momento no era muy difundida, casi la información que estaba disponible era bastante limitada y era como un tesoro escondido que solo unos pocos podíamos enterarnos por algún motivo, ¿no? Entonces, publiqué este video y explotó. Generó muchísimo interés en muchísimas personas que comenzaron a contactarme año tras año, siguen contactando hasta ahorita. Y bueno, hemos crecido de ser solamente un video a ser una comunidad que está presente ahorita en más de, bueno, hay 59 países, pero en verdad está desactualizado. Somos ya en 66 países y somos más de 140,000 personas en 66 países. Eso es un montón de personas que están, pues, interesadas en esas oportunidades internacionales, interesadas en potenciar sus carreras hasta el infinito y más allá, como yo siempre digo. Y pues para eso es esta comunidad, ¿no? Para ayudarlos, para apoyarlos, para entrenarlos en lo que necesiten, ¿vale? Aquí, por ejemplo, a la izquierda, este fue un meetup que tuvimos el año pasado, bueno, este año, perdón, 2024. Para mí fue el año pasado porque siento que ha pasado 20 años desde ese momento, pero han pasado en verdad como 3 meses. Fue en Lima, nos juntamos en presencial con la comunidad de personalbranding.p en Lima, en la Universidad Católica. Fue un evento súper chévere donde además nos dimos cuenta de que lo valioso de esta comunidad no solamente estos eventos, sino que el hecho de que cuando ya nos juntamos físicamente realmente se generan amistades, se genera un bonding súper chévere porque conoces a personas que están persiguiendo los mismos objetivos profesionales que tú, ¿no? Entonces, tienes una comunidad que te apoya, tienes esas personas que también están pasando por lo mismo que tú, entonces puedes compartir experiencias y se genera una relación muy enriquecedora. Y aquí, en la imagen de la derecha, estamos con los becarios Erasmus Mundus 2024 de Perú, en la despedida oficial organizada por la Unión Europea en Lima. Y lo que más me gusta de estos eventos es que cada vez que yo voy, siempre me encuentro, conozco nuevas personas que se me acercan y yo no las conozco, pero me dicen como que, Vivi, tú eres la de los videos, vi tus videos y gracias a tus videos ahora acabo de ser elegida para Erasmus Mundus. Me ayudó muchísimo tus videos para la carta de recomendación, para las cartas de motivación, para el CV. Y eso para mí, aunque pase sin que yo a veces me dé cuenta, porque los videos están libres en YouTube y también los cursos libres en mi academia, no siempre veo quiénes compran o quiénes ven mis videos, pero conocer a las personas cara a cara, que son finalmente los beneficiarios de las cosas que compartimos en esta comunidad, es lo que más me llena el alma, la verdad. Somos más de 100 becarios en estos 4 años, 100 becarios Erasmus Mundus, y cada año son más, o sea, cada año el crecimiento es exponencial, con lo cual estamos muy felices de poder apoyarlos, así que ya saben, si les interesa seguir desarrollándose profesionalmente hasta el infinito y más allá y continuar teniendo, digamos, esos tips, esos accesos a información como de peers que ya han pasado por este proceso de las becas y de desarrollo profesional, pues esta academia personalbranding.p es un lugar seguro y están todos invitados para hacerlo. Pero es importante que todos pongan de su parte porque estas oportunidades no son ni fáciles ni pasan de la noche a la mañana. Requieren mucha preparación, mucha constancia, mucha perseverancia y muchas ganas realmente de aportar de forma positiva al ámbito de estudio que les interesa. Así que sin más, comenzamos esta sesión. Vamos a comenzar con primero el Master Emotion. Tenemos a Tracy y a varios estudiantes, alumni y creo que estudiantes aún todavía de la maestría que nos van a compartir sus experiencias. Y luego tenemos a Imi, está Maxtel también conectada, con Kendi, que también es de Venezuela y nos hablará sobre su experiencia, que también es un máster súper interesante para compartirles. Cada presentación, cada programa va a presentar pues sus características y sus experiencias de becarios alrededor de 20 minutos y luego de eso tendremos 10 minutos o un poco más para preguntas o dudas que ustedes puedan tener y para poder tener una conversación. Lo bueno de tener 2 programas, normalmente tenemos 3 y tenemos el tiempo un poco ajustado, pero como somos 2 programas podemos pues tener un poquito más de flexibilidad, así que les recomiendo que tengan preguntas, hagan todas las preguntas que quieran, aprovechen que tenemos a las personas acá, así que espero que puedan aprender muchísimo de esta sesión. Sin más, le doy el pase a Tracy. I think Tracy, you will be, now we're going to switch to English. This meeting will be a Spanglish meeting constantly, so don't worry about that. So maybe Tracy, you want to, I will stop sharing. So okay. The stage is yours.
Okay.
You can share your screen.
Presentation, just a moment. Okay, can you see my slides? Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
So thank you, Viviana, for your introduction. I must say that I didn't activate my captions, so I didn't understand a lot, but I trust that you made a very nice presentation to Emotion and to me. So thank you. I'm very excited.
Thanks for the trust.
To introduce you to Emotion, and I have prepared some slides, so I'll take you through them step by step. So let's start from the basics. For those of you who are not familiar with Erasmus Mundus Joint Master, what is an EMJM? Well, an EMJM is a special master program which involves at least 3 universities in 3 different countries. It is a program which is funded by the European Union. So this means that generous Erasmus Plus scholarships are available, and these scholarships can cover the tuition fees together with living expenses. Usually, a student is awarded with a joint degree or a multiple degree. For example, in Emotion, the student is awarded with a double degree from our university in Italy and from Spain or from Belgium. Usually, an EMJM entails an intense student mobility. So this means that you don't study in just one place, but you study in different countries, and so you live a truly international experience. Usually, professionals are involved in the teaching activities and also the training activities. So the exposure to the professional world comes very early in your academic path. And the last feature is the geographical diversity of students, because maximum 10% of the scholarship can be awarded to students coming from the same country. So this means that you will study with other classmates that come from all over the world. For example, in Emotion, this year, we have 28 students coming from 18 countries. So you can imagine how many different religions, cultures, languages, habits there are in just one room. And I think that this picture that I put in this first slide well represents the diversity of our Emotion students. So the benefits that you obtain pursuing an Erasmus Mundus Joint Master are briefly outlined in this slide. So international exposure, industry involvement, high quality education, and well-rounded curriculum. Financial support. So this means that you can focus on your academic career without thinking and worrying about your finances. And finally, career opportunities. I would like to highlight the fact that, in my opinion, Erasmus Mundus Joint Master graduates are really appreciated by employers. Why? Because they usually speak multiple languages, because they can adapt to new cultures and navigate unfamiliar systems, and also because they can build strong social networks across borders. So they are really resourceful and independent problem solvers, and these are traits that are usually loved by employers. So usually employability percentage are quite high. For example, in Emotion, we have a percentage of 85% of employability one year after graduation. And I think that this is a very good achievement, and I'm very proud of it. So coming to Emotion, what is Emotion? Emotion is an Erasmus Mundus Joint Master which educates the future generation of translational scientists in the skilled health and care sector. It stands out for its comprehensive approach because it is related to 3 different fields: cosmetic products, dermatological drugs, and medical devices. Moreover, in Emotion, students are trained about all the different activities that belong to the research and development process, starting from the design of the functional ingredient of active pharmaceutical ingredient to the marketing of the final product. Moreover, another feature of Emotion is that it is highly inclusive. So most of our students are females, and we try to foster women leadership. Besides that, we have resources, financial resources, which are dedicated to students with special needs. And we have also strong connections with extra-European countries, especially underprivileged countries. So we believe that our aim is really to breaking down social, economic, and geographical barriers. Emotion was born in 2018 under my initiative and the initiative of Professor Genazzani. And since then, I think that Emotion has grown a lot. And here you can see some representative numbers that show how Emotion has grown. So we have awarded more than 70 scholarships. We have had more than 100 students coming from almost 50 countries all over the world. In this map, you can see all the countries from which we have received applications so far. And what about the university which are involved in Emotion? So Emotion is coordinated by the University of Piemonte Orientale, which is located in the north of Italy, in a city named Novara, which is between Milan and Turin. And in the management of the Emotion Master, there are other two universities which are involved. One is based in Spain. It is the University Miguel Hernández in Elche, in the south of Spain. And the other one is the Université de Namur in Belgium. Inside our consortium, there are also other 4 companies which are part of our consortium, and they belong to the skin health and care sector. Obviously, Intercos, Roelmi, Antalgenics, and Dow, but there are other companies that are involved in the training activities and in the teaching activities of Emotion, and also in the laboratories. Briefly, Emotion is a 2-year master program. So the student studies in Italy for the first year, and he or she can choose between a non-clinical path in Spain or a clinical path in Belgium for the 3rd semester. After these 3 semesters, there is a mandatory internship that can be performed in academia or in a company. And after the internship, the student is awarded with a degree, which is, in our case, a double degree. So this degree is awarded by the University of Piemonte Orientale or the University Miguel Hernández, and the University Miguel Hernández, or by the University of Piemonte Orientale and the University of Namur, according to the mobility path chosen by the student. During these 2 years, students have the possibility to participate in workshops on translational skills, also to visit companies in the skin health and care sector, or to participate in international fairs, such as, for example, Cosmoprof, which is held every year in Bologna, in Italy, and is a worldwide fair where different cosmetic companies coming from all over the world participate. So coming to the details regarding the teaching program, in Italy, during the first year, students study the anatomy, physiology, and pathology of the skin, medicinal chemistry, pharmacology, organic chemistry, regulatory affairs, dermatology, natural products, sustainability, and here you can find a comprehensive list of all the different subjects that you will study in Italy. After that, as I said before, you can choose between a non-clinical path in Spain or a clinical path in Belgium. This means that in Spain, you will focus your studies about the assessment of the efficacy and safety of different cosmetic or pharmaceutical products dedicated to the skin, while during your path in Belgium, which is a clinical one, you will mainly study clinical trials, quality assurance, and bioethics. And here you can also find a comprehensive list of all the different subjects that you will study in the 3 universities. After that, as I said before, in the 4th semester, an internship takes place. This internship can be performed in every country in the world, so you are free to choose where to do your internship. Most of the time, students prefer to perform an internship in companies, but there are students that prefer to do it in academia. And here you can find a list of the universities and of the companies that have hosted Emotion students so far. An interesting feature of Emotion is that during their 2 years, Emotion students are involved in a project about the communication of science to the general public. So the aim of this project is to combat disinformation and misinformation that unfortunately are quite common in the dermatological field and in the cosmetic science field. So in this project, students are supervised by an expert in communication and by an academic tutor, and under their supervision, they write articles or prepare interviews or make podcasts, infographics, videos to talk about science on cosmetic products or dermatological drugs. And we think that this is a very nice initiative to disseminate science among the general public. And it's also the occasion in which the students learn how to use WordPress, which is one of the most important platforms to run a blog. And in this regard, I will ask Susan, who is participating in the meeting, she's an Emotion student, to bring her own experience, because I know that based on this project, she starts her own blog about cosmetic science, and she will maybe talk about her experience in this regard. If you are curious to read some articles of our magazine, you can visit our link and read some articles written by our students. Regarding the places that we offer every year, we have 18 places with Erasmus Plus scholarship. The amount is 1,400 euros per month. We have also 7 places, non-fee paying, self-funded places. So this means that you don't have to pay the tuition fee, but at the same time you don't receive any scholarship. And we have 5 places which are fee-paying, self-funded places. So this means that you have to pay the tuition fees, which is 4,500 euros per year. In this moment, applications for Erasmus Plus scholarship and non-fee paying self-funded places are open, and they are open until the end of January. And then a second round of applications for the fee-paying self-funded places will open. This will happen in May. And the notification of the outcome of the selection will come in April for the first round of applications and in June for the second round of applications. The good news is that we have targeted scholarships for Latin America. And so we have a good number of scholarships every year, which is dedicated for Latin America. The bad news is that these scholarships are obviously very competitive. Last year, for instance, we received more than 1,000 applications. So it is quite difficult. It's not impossible, I must say, but it's quite difficult. It's quite competitive, to be selected for a scholarship. So I just wanted to give you a suggestion. If you are interested in Emotion, you applied for the program and you are not selected, please remember that there are other scholarship opportunities. And in this regard, I think that Latin America is quite rich in opportunities. I don't know if you are familiar with these associations, but we have experience both with CONACYT and Futuro. CONACYT is very active in Mexico, and Futuro in Colombia. We had students that were awarded with a fee-paying place, but were able to pay the tuition fee thanks to these associations, organizations. And so I suggest that the students, the applicants, also look to other scholarship opportunities. And to the same, we have prepared a page on our Emotion website. The link is here in this slide, where you can find other scholarship opportunities in the case you are not selected for the Erasmus Plus one. Regarding the application process and the selection process, I refer you to our website because you can find all the information there. Briefly, the requirements are given by a bachelor degree or higher in the scientific field. We require for background both in chemistry and in biology, and this is described in your transcript of record. So we look at the courses you attended in order to understand if you have a background in both chemistry and biology, and English proficiency, minimum B2 level. My application tips are this one. So take your time to read the requirements, prepare all the requested documents in advance. And I say that because many applications that we receive are not eligible. You need to know that the first check is made by our administrative staff. So there is a check for eligibility, and the first thing that we check is that the application is complete in all the documents that you have to provide. So if there is a document which is missing, the application is not considered eligible. And this means that it's not evaluated by the Joint Admission Board, and this is a shame. So the first thing that I suggest is that you look very carefully at all the requirements, all the documents, and you prepare carefully your application, paying attention to details. Another tip that I would like to give you is about the motivation letter. I think that this is the most important part of your application. And what I suggest is that you make responsible use of artificial intelligence in preparing your motivation letter. Why I say that? Because I noticed, especially in this last round of applications, that many letters, I think they were written by using ChatGPT, which is a very effective tool. It's very useful, but the problem is that you have the impression that many motivation letters are identical one to the other. And this is not good, because a motivation letter must reflect your thoughts, your expectations from the master, your desire, your experiences. And so if you use ChatGPT, ChatGPT is obviously not able to write a personal motivation letter. So I think that it is better to have a less polished, less perfect motivation letter, but something that really reflects your own thoughts. This is my suggestion. So avoid using ChatGPT because a good motivation letter is an original one. I hope that it was clear and you agree with my thoughts. Regarding the selection process, what we evaluate is the academic record based on the GPA that you received in your first degree, the merit based on your CV, the motivation letter, which, as I said, is a very important part, and the referee's evaluation, which is a letter written by an academic professor or your employer if you are already working in a company. Based on this selection, we prepare a ranking of the candidates, and the shortlisted one are give an interview, an online interview with the Joint Admission Board, and after that, the outcome, more or less in April, is communicated to the applicants, whether they are selected or not selected. So if you are lucky enough to be selected for Emotion and you study our program, which are the career opportunities? Well, Emotion graduates are entitled for pursuing a PhD, so they can pursue an academic career. Otherwise, they can be employed in a company working in the pharmaceutical field, in the cosmetic science field, or in the medical device field. All these fields are growing fast, and here we have very good career opportunities, and this is reflected into the high percentage of employability. As I said before, it's around 80% 1 year after graduation. Here you can find a list of the different areas in which you can find a job, and the job position obviously depends on the path that you choose. So if you choose the non-clinical path in Spain, you can have here a non-comprehensive list of different job positions that you can look for. If you choose the clinical path in Belgium, you will obviously work in the clinical trial field. Here you can see some stories that I selected from our Emotion alumni, and just to give an idea of the fact that there are Emotion alumni that pursued a PhD, some in Europe, some others outside Europe, for example, in Canada. Other students were hired by multinational companies such as L'Oréal or Yepoda. And what it is always nice to see is that many of them are involved in initiatives where they volunteer. For example, Roman is volunteering in various initiatives supporting Ukraine. Momen is volunteering in Medicina Sans Frontières. So it seems like these students try to give back what they received from the European Union. And I think that it is something very nice to be seen among our Emotion alumni. So I hope that you are interested in applying for Emotion. If you are interested in it, here you can find some contacts. So you can find our website. You can obviously write us an email. You can find different QR codes for our social media. So please follow us on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook as well, yes. Here you can find a nice picture that was taken this September during our graduation ceremony with our 6th cohort. And this slide is especially for you, for Latin America, because I tried to summarize how many students we had in Emotion coming from Latin America. And you can see that we had students coming from Brazil, Guatemala, Mexico, and many other countries. And tonight, here in Italy is night. I guess that in Latin America it's afternoon, it's still afternoon, but here is night. And tonight we have here with us 3 alumni and students from Emotion. We have Valentina, who is an Emotion alumna coming from Colombia, and she's in Colombia, she was saying now. Susan, who is studying in Spain, so she's in the 2nd year of the master, and she comes from Brazil. And Cristina, who is studying here in Novara, she's in the 1st year of Emotion, and she comes from Ecuador. They are here with me tonight, and so I leave the stage to them. Maybe they can bring their experience in Emotion. So I just stop my sharing and leave the word to them.
Tracy, maybe you could leave the slide with the QRs,
slide?
So everybody that's, just that slide with the QRs, so they can actually have time to scan it and go and check it out.
Yes. Opla. Okay, can you see it? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Just a minute. In the meanwhile, maybe Valentina, you can start. Maybe you can share your experience and tell us what you're doing now.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much, Tracy and Viviana, for inviting me. Thank you, Susan. I think perhaps I'm gonna switch to Spanish, if that's okay with you guys, so we can reach a huge audience here. Hola a todos, un gusto conocerlos. Soy Valentina Carvajal, soy de Colombia. Hice parte del tercer intake de Emotion y voy a darles más o menos cómo fue mi perspectiva. Primero que todo, hay cosas que hay cosas que no podemos elegir en la vida, que simplemente vibramos con ellas, ¿cierto? Como nuestra música favorita, nuestro sabor de gelato favorito, nuestro lugar preferido, por X, Y o Z razón. Y de otro lado, tenemos un montón de posibilidades y de opciones que elegimos día a día, a la hora a la que nos levantamos, cómo decidimos vestirnos y demás. Para mí, Emotion fue una combinación de ambas. Entonces, por un lado, estaba mi pasión, que eran todas estas dinámicas cutáneas, todo lo que tenía que ver con desarrollo farmacéutico. Y este fue el programa que me permitió unir ambas, la pasión, que en mi caso es algo que no elijo, simplemente vibro, y por otro lado la elección, que fue aplicar a este programa específicamente. Yo diría que Emotion es una oportunidad, una en un millón, para perseguir este tipo de sueños. Tomé la decisión, pasé a la beca, estuve en un desarrollo tanto personal como profesional súper grande. Yo tomé la decisión de irme por el pathway que está en España, que es el que haga toda la parte preclínica. Y creo que siempre lo diré, Emotion es una montaña de emociones. Entonces, este tipo de experiencias tienen subidas y bajadas, pero relájense, eso es como la vida misma. Estoy segura que el máster les va a dar todas las herramientas para superar cada uno de esos obstáculos. Hacen parte tanto estudiantes como alumni, es decir, egresados. Entonces, una vez estén dentro del Erasmus, en cualquier programa que elijan, ustedes pueden hacer parte de ellas, pueden tener, ellos hacen también un montón de proyectos y demás, pueden hacer voluntariados y como decía Tracy, es una forma de dar después de ingresar. Yo creo que voy a dejarles los links en el chat, si alguno quiere verlo. Si algo de esto resonó con ustedes, si todo el contenido que Tracy ya les mostró realmente los emociona, mi recomendación sería, sin lugar a dudas, intentarlo. Si no lo intentamos, la respuesta va a ser un no, siempre. pero al intentarlo ya empezamos a jugar con las probabilidades. Y bueno, ya yo creo que le cedo el escenario a Cristina y Susana, si no estoy mal, que son las personas que en este momento están en Emotion y que probablemente tengan la experiencia a flor de piel.
Susan, would you like to start?
Yes, sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Susan. I am a second year student in the Emotion Master, as Tracy has mentioned. I opt for the path going through Spain, and I have to say that I'm loving it. It's a really nice program that we find here. And I think the best feature of Emotion is truly the diversity that we encounter. So as Tracy was saying, we are all from different countries. We are encouraged to make friends with people that are different from our countries. And saying about what was being asked in the chat, yes, we have people from the LGBTQ plus community for sure. We welcome everybody regardless of their preferences. And I think that one thing that everybody that comes to ask me when they want to know more about Emotion is always about the motivation letter. And what I always say, it's always the same answer, is that you have to have two main things. A true story, the first thing. It needs to be true. It needs to be something real about yourself. So if you are passionate about neurocosmetics, bring that up on your letter, talk about that. If you want to work with decorative cosmetics, it can be anything in the dermatological field, which is huge. So try to focus on what you are very passionate about and tell the whole story. How did you get into it, and what do you plan to do in the future? That's one of the good things that you can talk about in your motivation letter, because that is important for the board to understand what you want to do in the future and how Emotion can actually help you to get there. And yes, you guys can contact me in social media. I am on LinkedIn. My name is here, Susan Amaral Jagabind. You can contact me on Instagram as well. It's susu.amaral. I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I can surely talk to you in Spanish, in Portuguese, and in English. And yes, I think that's it. If you have any other questions, I am available.
Thank you, Susan. Maybe Cristina now wants to give her testimony.
Sí, pues hola, mucho gusto. Yo soy Cristina y soy de Ecuador. Y pues Valentina y Susan dijeron prácticamente todo lo que yo ya pienso del programa. Yo me gradué en Corea, de Korea University, con un double major degree en Biotechnology e International Studies. Pues conmigo la historia es un poco distinta, puesto que después de graduarme de biotecnología, yo empecé a trabajar como freelancer en una compañía de K-Beauty, pues en el área de marketing, y pues nunca me hubiese imaginado regresar al área de ciencias, ahora estudiando pues algo relacionado a la piel. Así que lo que yo les podría recomendar es que independientemente de su background, se animen a aplicar este programa que definitivamente les va a cambiar la vida. Y pues sí, eso es lo que yo podría decirles por ahora. Y pues también voy a dejar mis contactos en el chat, tal vez por si tienen preguntas.
Pasa tus links. Tengo una pregunta. ¿Dónde están ahorita los tres? Cristina, ¿tú dónde estás ahorita?
Novara.
¿En
Es mi
dónde?
primer semestre en Novara.
En Novara, ok, vale. Susan, where are you right now?
I am in Elche, in Spain.
In Spain, ok. Y bueno, Valentina ya acabó, ya está en Colombia. Y Tracy, where are you?
I'm in Novara, es Cristina.
I need that, okay. Same, okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you everyone who spoke. I want to know, quiero saber si en la audiencia tenemos algunas preguntas, algunos comentarios, algunas dudas de personas que quisieran hablar sobre los programas o que están interesados en eso o simplemente saber experiencias. Tenemos un poco de tiempo para eso, así que si tienen dudas o preguntas, el momento es ahora. Ok. Naomi, cuéntanos.
Yeah, so I'm in my third year of the undergrad of chemistry in the Universidad Nacional de Colombia, and I was like, I fall in love with this program so much. I wanted to know if like it's better for me to do like a thesis, or it's better for me to do uh, wait, a vacancy, an internship with a company maybe, as I can see that in the mastership they also make an internship. So I wanted to know what is better for me for this
You
program.
mean you're preparing for the application to emotion?
Yeah.
You mean, yeah, but I think that an internship or a thesis in academia, both are fine. What I would try to do, if I were you, is to find something related to the skin health and care field, just to demonstrate that you are really interested in it. So something specific related to the skin biology, or to the skin pathology, or to the development of a product. But academia or companies, I think that they are the same. What is more important is the topic of your thesis, no? And not where you do it. This is my answer to your question. I hope that I answered.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I think that helps a lot. This is a life hack for everyone who wants to win a scholarship. Always try to adjust their research interest to the topic that they want to develop further later. It really demonstrates interest and perseverance. Okay, we have another. ¿Tenemos otra pregunta? A ver, espérate. ¿Otra pregunta tenemos? ¿Alguien levantó la mano? ¿O me pareció a mí? Okay. Ok, si no hay más preguntas, vamos a pasar con... Ok, uno más. Jorge. Ok, now, Jorge.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I just wanna say I don't have any questions. Can I?
Yes. Sí, yes.
Well, how can I start? Well, I'm doing things that I never imagined that I wouldn't do in my life. I'm still working in my profile. Obviously, since I watched the first video of Viviana's video, and for the master and everything, I was inspired by the things that everyone can get, and by working hard, by inspiring others. And I just want to say that obviously I'm gonna apply when I'm ready, but it is I don't know how to say fantastic this opportunity that Viviana's give us, and all her academic. I'm so grateful. Just want to say.
I for some context, Jorge is one of my students. He's preparing his profile to apply in some years to emotion, actually. And I have to say, as a teacher, you know, I'm like with my hat of a lecturer, of a teacher, I am always super glad to see such perseverance in my students. Jorge comes from he will tell you in his times, but his background and life in Mexico is, let's say, challenging in a bit. So, he's trying his best, and I can only recommend him, but you will notice him when it's time. So that's the context I want to give. He's trying hard from now, so that's what I can tell you. Okay, so thank you, Jorge. Gracias, Jorge. Qué chévere. Sigue adelante. Tú lo estás haciendo muy bien, ¿vale? ¿Tenemos alguna otra pregunta? ¿Tenemos algún otro comentario de alguien más que quiera compartir por Emotion? Si no, pasamos a Amy, que ya tenemos también lista aquí a Matchel, y yo tengo su presentación para compartirles. ¿Vale? Ok, si no tenemos más preguntas, thank you very much to all the Emotion team, Tracy, Valentina, Cristina, Susan. It has been great having you. You are invited to stay here in case people are asking questions in the chat.
Sure.
I saw some active questions there in the chat happening, so I think a lot of people are actually interested in applying this year. Now we will pass through with Imin. So I invite Machtel and Candy. Candy are both here. I'm going to start presenting the slides from Machtel. So thank you very much to everyone of Emotion. Guys, chicos, manden una reacción para la gente de Emotion, pues unos corazones ahí, algo de pies, claro que sí, claro que sí. Vale, buenazo. Ok, comenzamos con Imin. Yo voy a estar apoyando a Maxtel con la presentación, así que eso, Maxtel, whenever you want,
Yeah,
we'll be
okay.
supporting you.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. And also thank you for inviting us to present the IMIM program in this platform. I was very happy to hear from Tracy, the project, Emotion project, because she also introduced a lot about the EMJM regulations and so on. So I don't have to do that, and I also did not bring this information. So it's good that she went first. So IMIM is a master in innovative medicine, and it started already in 2016. So this is our third grant that we received last summer. And so we also have, of course, scholarships available for the next 4 cohorts, 20 scholarships per cohort. And we also, of course, would like to have some self-paying students. Next slide, please. So our consortium consists of 4 European universities. Groningen is the central coordinator of this program. And then we have Uppsala in Sweden that offers a 2-year master program. Heidelberg offers a 1-year master program, and Tartu is a new partner, just recently joined the consortium. Will also offer 2 years. So what is different, I think, from the previous program is that the IMIM students will all go to these universities, and they will be part of existing master programs. So that means that they will be with IMIM students, but they will also be with the students that are already there. And what I hear from students is that they also like that very much, to be part of 2 communities. And we have had 153 graduates since 2016 from 43 countries. So that's less than the previous speaker. Next slide, please. So we have a double degree. So students will get a degree from the university that they are enrolled in the first year, and then they will get a degree from the university of their choice for the second year. Next slide. And so that depends on their mobility path. And on the next slide, I will show you how that works. So as I said, Heidelberg offers only 1-year program. So if you start in Heidelberg, then you can, for the second year, you can go to the other universities. But if you start in, for instance, in Groningen, you can only go to Tartu or Uppsala, because Heidelberg does not offer a second year. Okay, next slide, please. I looked up what kind of background the students had since 2016, and you can see there's a very wide range of subjects that students studied. And I think they were all doing fine. So it's not so much a problem, I think, to apply. There's not much that is not included here, basically. Next slide, please. So a little bit about the IMIM specific learning line. So as I said, all students are part of existing master programs. But of course, we have also our specific IMIM learning line. So that includes 10 study credits in the first year and 10 credits in the second year. And we also have 3 schools where students come together. So in the 2 years, they will be coming together 4 times. I will explain later. But so we have 4 moments that we see each other physically. So that's really nice. We start all of us for the kickoff in end of August. This year it will be in 2025. It will be organized by the University of Uppsala, but the year after it will be Tartu. Then so all students will come together, and we become acquainted with each other. The staff is going to be introduced. The staff will introduce the programs where the students are going, and it's a 3 days event. And after that, students go to their different universities, and they start with the BBB course 1, because in that course they have to interview different PIs, because they have to do an internship. So IMIM requires that students do 2 internships, research internships, one in the first year and one in the second year, and then they can do maybe a third one in the second year as well, if you go to Uppsala. Now, to know what you would like to study and what kind of research group you want to be part of, it's required that you do some interviews with PIs, and they will then tell you what is possible, and students can also think about themselves what they would like to do, whether they want to be a part of the large research group or a small group. So once they then picked a research group, this will take longer. They will do the internship in the second semester. Then in the second semester, the spring school is organized by Heidelberg, right? During the spring school, students learn a lot about soft skills, how to do networking, how to be active on LinkedIn. Some of you do not know these lessons anymore, I think. But these kind of skills are important, also to become a translational researcher. And then in the BBB2, students are going to work on the patent and to review it. And this is a new element in our program. And we also train students how to use AI tools, because we know that everyone is using it, but you also have to know the pitfalls, and you have to know where you can use it and where it's very relevant. Then, so the first year is very much focused on academic skills, but then the second year, the focus changes into entrepreneurship skills. And that starts already during the summer school. Then the students will all come to Groningen, and they will form teams, and in teams they will work on a certain project idea. It's a 5-day week, and they will present at the end of the week their idea, what this product could be, and so on. After that, the students continue to their second year universities, but they will still work in these teams, because then the BBB3 course started, and this course in the third semester finishes with the Venture Lab weekend, and then the students have to come back to Groningen, because then in one weekend they finish their product that they started in the summer school. Also, they pitch their ideas for a jury, and that is actually the last time that they see each other, because then they go back to their universities, and then they have the opportunity to continue with the product they're working on, to be able to really create a startup after they graduate, or if the student is more interested in academic career, they can write a research proposal, because most programs have a competition after graduation for PhD proposals. So they may stay in Groningen, for instance, to do a PhD project. Next slide, please. So this together, we try to train translational researchers. Just first by limiting the gap between basic science and clinical research. We ask the students to have a look in both areas, but that's the first year. In the second year, just to know more about entrepreneurship and market knowledge. It's a different type of field, and not many students who are trained in academic research also have knowledge about entrepreneurship and what to do with it. And then together with soft skills in effective communication and leadership and so on, we think this is the best way for the graduates to become a true translational researcher. Next slide, please. So we also have associate partner universities, and 4 of them are actually from Latin American countries. and one is from Japan, Kyoto. Many students went already to our Latin American partners for a 3 or 6 months internships, and they are most of the times they're also supported financially to go there. These partners, they all join us during the kickoff, so that they can already introduce themselves and talk to the students and explain to them what is possible for an internship, maybe in the second semester or otherwise in the fourth semester. Next slide, please. And then, of course, we have a lot of companies who also have offer internships for our students. It's somewhat more difficult to get these internships because it's not always available. But I think now there's a lot of good examples from students that went to companies, and in some cases they even stayed there and have jobs there now. As I said, the associate partners will come to the kickoff, but also during the other schools, students will be exposed to different industry members who will join us during the schools. Next slide, please. Okay, and then something about the application. So this is the website, and everything is on the website. So we just renewed the website, and it's very detailed what you have to do. We also have on the website the links to the existing master programs of the different partner universities. So you can have a look what would be of interest for you. There's also a section of frequently asked questions. And there's testimonials from alumni. Next slide. We also have a 2-step procedure for the application. We very much look for great performance, but also these have to be in relevant subjects, because our master programs are very intense master programs. Candy can maybe say more about that later on. So we really have to make sure that the students have a good background in what we are teaching. So that's important for us. Then we also look at entrepreneurial attitude. And what is that? What do I mean with that? Some students already are busy with founding a company. Some students worked already at a company. Some students went to a conference, some students went abroad. So we take the whole package. So because we think it's important that students have some experience to go abroad, because as I said, it's this whole program can be very stressful. The master is intense, and then you have to move. And we think it's better if students know what they're getting themselves into. We also look at motivation, of course, and yeah, it's true. Students can write with ChatGPT, but to be honest, I will see that very quickly. I use it very often myself, so it's not difficult. You can try it, but I would not do it. I would just write something from your heart and explain. And don't start that your auntie has cancer or something, because that is also everybody's writing, and that's why they want to do this master. So it's you have to be honest, and when you are invited for an interview, we will get back to that. So it's better be an honest story, and we will love to talk about it with you, because it's good. It's important that you fit in the program and that you come to IMIM for a good reason. Research experience. It would be great if you have some research experience. It's not necessary. And then, of course, and for us, we need 2 letters of reference. Next slide, please. So once you're selected for the interview, you get 2 assignments. So you will have to present a paper, a research paper. We will send 5 papers, and you can choose one. Then, of course, we would like to hear about your research project that you have done during your bachelor. And then the last part, which I think is most fun, is the motivation. Then we talk about why did you choose INIM and why do you think you are a good fit for the program. Okay, next slide, please. Career opportunities. Yeah, our graduates are also very successful in getting a good position after graduation. 90% find a good job between 6 and 9 months after graduation, and most students continue first with a PhD. But some start working at a company. In most cases, it's the company where they did their internship. What I always learn from the entrepreneurs that do the teaching is that you're not going to be an entrepreneur overnight. It takes time. So even if you're doing a PhD, some students also continue with their product. So you can still become an entrepreneur later, but it really takes time to become successful. So that's why most students first start with a PhD and then see what happens later. Next slide, please. Yeah, I think I have more or less the same tips as the previous speaker. We also receive a lot of applications, and in some cases they're not complete, so we also ignore them. So make sure that your documents are in order. You also have to show an English proficiency test that cannot be older than 2 years. If you are invited for the interview, I really hope that you prepare well for the interview and make a presentation that's just 10 minutes and not longer. And then, yeah, motivation is important. Why would you like to join us? And why do you think you would be a good fit? Next slide, please. Yeah, so I will give the floor later to Candy or Nita. He's from Venezuela and graduated from a program in 2021 and is currently a PhD student in Leiden, but I guess I'm not sure he will tell you more and maybe can answer your questions. And then the final slide, I think. Yeah, oh yeah, this is this is us, the staff, because we were getting together a few weeks ago in Groningen. So this is also Groningen. But this is the people that you will meet once you have joined us in INIM. So thank you very much for joining, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Also, you can ask your questions during the INIM website, and they will, our assistant will send also, if the student asks to meet with me, that's also fine. I meet with students all the time. So if you have questions, you can do that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Machtel. Now, bienvenido, Candy.
Candy, still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi.
Can you listen to me? Okay.
Yes, we can switch to Spanish if it's better, Candy.
No,
yeah.
Okay, Machtel. Okay. So we keep it English so Machtel can understand. No problem. Okay, yeah, English then.
So English then?
Yeah, English is okay. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Magdalena and Viviana, for the invite. I'm actually indeed from Venezuela, and I study biology and medicine. And the reason why I choose IMIN was because it was a program that had a bridge between basic research and how to implement my medical knowledge and how to go further. And that has helped me to achieve. I'm now doing my 4th year PhD in Leiden, working on a technology called organo's on chip, and it's basically the modeling of the diseases with the stem cells from patients to be used in pharma companies to test compounds in a cheaper and faster and more efficient way without using that much the animals for experimentation. So I would like to answer all your questions, especially if you have one in Spanish, you should. Uh, So Alexandra asked, I think, something about the if it would be appropriate to mention the potential of startup. I would suggest you don't mention that much your idea, otherwise it could be stolen. Remember, this is a very competitive world that we're living. But if you have a clear perspective on what you want to achieve and you want to sell it properly in your motivation, yeah, just sell yourself, but sell yourself properly without overselling yourself too much. Be aware of your capabilities, be aware of your abilities, and write it from your heart, as Marta said. This is a daily effort. It's not that you are going to prepare your application in 1 week. This is something that takes months, if not the whole year, for you to send a very strong application, because you will be competing with very, very good people worldwide. Then Pamela asked where we can consult the master subjects. I think it's on the website. But it's a very free master, so there are set subjects, but you have, if I'm not mistaken, now 3 internships in which you can choose what you will do your research about, so you get a deeper insight in your specific the specific field you want to. But it's also very highly demanding, so you also will have on the side your the BBB aspects, because the idea is that you will, if not become an entrepreneurship, that you are aware that the world is bigger than being on a lab and doing basic research, and we also need to apply this research to some extent in the future. So this master prepares you for that. This is just the beginning of it. Flavia, what are the strongest traits of your application? Well, besides your research background and your grades, of course, motivation is it's one of the most important things. And as I said, you have to sell yourself very well without overselling your abilities and your capabilities. Be from your heart. Why do you want to how this master fits in your career, and what are you also bringing to it, and what you will do with that in the future. Emilia, ¿cuánto tiempo te tomó prepararte para Erasmus Mundus? Well, to be honest, like a year, because you have to do a very good research. Tienes que hacer una investigación apropiada antes de poder... porque hay varios programas de medicina en Erasmus. Habían 3 o 4 al momento de mi aplicación, pero tienes que preparar todo minuciosamente, y porque ellos no te conocen a ti como persona. Entonces tú tienes que venderte a través de la aplicación que estás enviando de una manera muy eficiente y efectiva. Yo creo que como 1 año más o menos me tocó, como 4 o 5 meses antes de enviar la aplicación, y luego entre la aplicación y la entrevista como 3 meses, y ya luego todo queda en base a la competición que hay de los que aplicaron. Angelica Kendi, what do you consider that must be mentioned in your motivation letter? Well, there's not a formula. There's not a magic formula, to be honest. But I would say that you have to be aware that the people that are reading this motivation letter are the top in this university, and they are the best in what they are doing in their fields. So basically, tell them what you're offering to them, and what they will offer will sit in your future, and what you will do with that. I think many of my colleagues in that time, we had similar structure in the motivation letter. There is is research about quality healthcare systems and patient safety relevant for this program? I would say that everything that leads to the innovation of the patient care in the future will suit in the program.
Maybe I can answer. So it depends. I saw that question indeed in the chat. It depends a little bit on the courses that you took, because if you start, so we do expect to have some background in molecular biology, immunology, and so on. So if you do not have any background in that, then it might be a little bit difficult to start. Do you agree, Candy?
Yeah, I also had some classmates that they were the strongest was not in molecular biology, but some sort of basic level you have to have, because their research internships will be mostly based on the research aspects. But you can also keep up with it as some classmates did that didn't have enough background. But it's.
Or maybe you can do some work in the summer before and read some study material. But we have to look at it. It's not a no.
I think Groningen, I think, welcomes you with an exam in cellular molecular biology.
We left that. We do not do that anymore. No,
cool.
No more exams in Groningen. Anything else?
Yes, there's a big question from Carol. It says, this year I took my TOEFL and got an 88 with more than 21 in each section. But in the program I saw that the requirement is at least 91.
Yeah.
I am currently doing a 1-year master's degree entirely in English. Would that be valid as proof of my level of English, or would I have to take another TOEFL exam? Also, in the application, would it be good to include my grades from the master's degree as well, or just from my undergraduate degree?
No, you put
my undergraduate degree was in pharmacy and the master in nano. It was a big question. The master in nano. Based on your experience, do you consider it would be better to apply now or when I will finish the master's degree? I mean, apply in 2025.
I can't say. It really depends on the competition, but the English test is important because we cannot change that. It's the regulations of the university. So, but I have to. I don't know exactly for the exemption whether this 1 year somewhere in English may change it. So I'm not sure. But if you do master and bachelor, please put in everything. Everything is important. The more, the better, right? It's the full package that we look at, right?
Yeah. We say in Spanish. No, dale, Candy, dale.
Que yo te recomiendo que apliques en el 2025. Y si no, que vuelvas a aplicar el año que viene. Pero los trenes de oportunidades solo pasan una vez en la vida.
De acuerdo. I wanted to say to Maxtel that to what you said. So in Spanish we say mejora que sobra que a que falte. So better, that is, it's more than you need than less than you need. So just put everything that you have there as your bullets in your application. Okay. So Alexandra Garrido asks, how many pages should the CV have? And I will support this question because you know, there's this Europass platform. You know that one, right, Magda? So the Europass platform has the positive like upside that you can just put your information there and it formats it automatically. But the downside is that it takes a lot of space on it, so the CVs get longer. So a CV that in a ready-made or in an own-made design would take you one page or 2 pages. In the CV in the Europass platform becomes 4 pages. So how many pages? Do you really count the pages or more like the content of the CV?
I'm not counting pages. I'm looking at content.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, exactly.
But don't overdo it and don't put unnecessary information.
Exactly.
Because then I get irritated.
Yes, exactly.
You don't want to upset your review.
Exactly. That's exactly what I tell to my students. You have to be mindful of the time of the other people, so you don't put things that they don't want to read.
Exactly.
Like
More than 600 applications, so
yes,
be clear.
yes, exactly. Just put the things that are, and then Tracy supports our.
Yes, I support everything you're saying.
Okay, great. Okay, so we have other questions. Jessica Saucedo asks, what are some examples you have of entrepreneurial attitude and how can it be shown in the application? I think this applies to both programs, right? Like, so maybe we can talk about it. So
it's conference visits, for instance. But also some students really have experience with starting a company already, or did some work at a company. So it can be very broad. But it's everything that is not in the curriculum. It's extracurricular. It can be very various things. Yeah.
Okay, and Tracy?
Yeah, I agree. Every extracurricular activity is more than welcome. As Marcel said, it's the full package that counts. So
yeah. I think in this case, the criteria is like if the person does more than the average or the standard person in this field, then this is something to be looked up to, right? Yeah. Like kind of. Then this has many interpretations, of course. Okay. So next question. Karen Moreno says, hello, I would like to consult. In my case, during my academic period, I carried out research tasks in microbiology, but not related to the area of medicine. Only after my graduation did I start working in a hospital. Should I include everything in my motivation letter or put more emphasis on my last experience? I mean, this is for Magda.
Yeah, so this is not for your motivation letter, of course. I mean, it is for your grades, your transcript. I mean, these courses I should have to read about it in your transcripts, right? But it doesn't matter that your previous work in microbiology is not related to medicine, right? Because it's beyond medicine. It's way broader. So you can everything can be of interest. You have a very broad view on that. So don't worry about that. You don't have to make a device for medicine. It would be great if you do it, but if not, that's also good. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Magda. We have one more question from Angelica. I have a question for Magda. I want to apply to IMIM and I will be completing my undergraduate degree in a few months. If I don't have work experience, but just research experience, would it be a disadvantage? Have students who have just completed their undergraduate program been accepted into the IMIM program?
Yeah, well, no problem.
Okay. There you have, Angelica. Okay. Thank you very much. Do we have any more questions? If we do, now is the time. Otherwise, okay, one more question from Lisette. A question for emotion program. I know legalized documents are not required for the application round. If we already have it, is it okay to send the legalized ones?
Yeah, it is better to send the legalized one. What we require is a certification from the university stating that you got the graduation and saying also the mark that you obtained, the degree, that you obtained the degree. The department is not necessary. You can bring it with you when you come to Italy for your first year, but at least we need a certification that states that you got the degree and the mark that you got. This is important, with the stamp of the university. So an official certification stating that you got the degree with the mark. This is necessary.
Okay, great. I hope that answered your question, Lisette. Do we have any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to stop presenting now. Okay, Lucy, do you want to, ¿quieres hablar, Lucy? You want to speak?
Hola, sí, buenas tardes. Yo tengo una pregunta más general. Muchas gracias. Estos Erasmus Mundus Talks han estado muy productivos, mucha información muy valiosa. Yo tengo una pregunta más general sobre, digamos, en general el proceso de aplicación. ¿Qué pasa en los casos en los que, digamos, los programas no tienen en estos momentos abiertos los programas de becas de Erasmus Mundus? O sea, están abiertos los programas, pero no hay becas. Que en mi caso me está ocurriendo eso. Yo estoy mirando varios programas en este momento, pero ninguno de los 3 programas está ofreciendo está ofreciendo beca Erasmus Mundus. O sea, está abierto el programa, pero no hay beca Erasmus Mundus. Entonces yo quería preguntarte, Vivian, en estos casos, ¿qué nos podría recomendar hacer? ¿Esperamos hasta que se abra la beca? ¿Qué garantías tenemos de que para el próximo año la beca se vaya a abrir? ¿Será que eso se demora? O de pronto, como entiendo que eso tiene que ser aprobado por la Unión Europea, ¿hay algún, digamos, hay posibilidades de que de pronto no se renueven esas becas? ¿Qué pasa como en esos casos? ¿Es recomendable esperar? Porque yo, por ejemplo, tengo esa duda muy grande en este momento. No sé si esperar a que se abra la beca Erasmus Mundus nuevamente para el 2025, o no sé si empezar a ver otras opciones de becas en otros tipos de programas, porque pues siempre es un año, aunque pues mi idea es prepararme este año en toda la documentación, pero pues como la beca no está abierta realmente, no sé, me genera un poquito de incertidumbre. Gracias.
Vale. Lucy, yo te respondo rapidito. Cada programa tiene un periodo de funding y un periodo de reaplicación. Entonces, los programas que no ofrecen beca ahorita es porque seguro se les acabó el periodo de funding y van a entrar en un periodo de reaplicación. Entonces, no te queda de otra más que esperar a que renueven el funding, y no hay ninguna garantía de que les van a dar el funding. O sea, nadie puede darte una probabilidad o una garantía en ese caso, porque en realidad depende mucho de la competencia en ese momento de la aplicación a programas Erasmus Mundus. Igual, recuerda que todo esto viene de un budget de la Unión Europea, ¿no? Entonces, Erasmus Mundus es parte de un programa que es parte de un esfuerzo más paraguas de la Comisión Europea llamada Erasmus Plus. Podríamos hablar horas de esto porque también es bien complejo, pero no en ese momento, ¿vale? Pero, pues nada, no hay ninguna garantía. Lo que sí hay es que, pues es muy probable, siempre, o sea, digamos, no te puedo dar un número exacto, pero es muy probable que un programa que ha tenido éxito por los años anteriores, y que tiene alta satisfacción de los estudiantes, pues va a seguir ganando, o sea, ganando reelección y refunding. Así que eso creo que, pues nada, no te queda más de otra que esperar, seguir preparando tu perfil o sea, tu perfil de forma transversal para el tema que te interese, y cuando sea el momento ver qué opciones tienes para poder aplicar a eso, ¿vale? Vamos a pasar a la siguiente pregunta. We have another question here from Alexandra. It says, for both programs, is it important to have a complete LinkedIn page? Do you review it?
No, I already answered in the chat. No.
Yeah, okay.
No, we just look at what is provided in the application. We don't use social media.
Yes, okay. Then, a question for Imin. Could you please explain a bit more about all the expenses covered by the Erasmus scholarship?
Yeah, we cover the insurance. We cover tuition fee. And it's 1,400 euros per month. So it's same for all programs. We don't cover the travel costs. No, I have to say it, because students have to travel, because we like to see each other once in a while, but you have to pay for it yourself. So.
However, I have to say here that the travel costs are included in these 1,400.
It's a lot of money for a regular student.
Yes, exactly. It's
it's more than what it was. It was 1,000. I know the prices went up, inflation and so on. It's housing is expensive. I know, but yeah, this is we also are being cut our universities. So yeah.
Yes, true.
Tough times.
Yes, exactly. COVID was a real factor
What's
there.
the start?
Yes, exactly. Okay, great. So I think that's it. No tenemos más preguntas. Si no tenemos más preguntas, vamos a pasar a la foto de rigor. We're going to go to the stage of the picture where we have a small picture of all of us gathered here. So para los que quieran aparecer en la foto, son invitados a prender sus cámaras. Y vamos a estar aquí prendiendo a ver, vamos a hacer screenshot. Vamos a tomar la foto en 3, 2, 1, foto, sonrisa. Listo. Ok, perfecto. Muchísimas gracias a todos los que han asistido. Thank you to all the assistants. Sorry. Espero que esta sesión les haya servido muchísimo para los que van a aplicar este año, para los que están interesados en los programas. Ya saben que en esta comunidad pues siempre apoyamos en la difusión de este tipo de oportunidades, así que bienvenidos a todos, and to the assistants, to Magdal, to Tracy, and to all the students. Thank you for coming. Sorry, coming in. Thank you for coming, and we hope to see you around more often. This is the first time we do it, but next year we hope to do it again, and we would be happy to have you again. So welcome to our community, to personallearning.pe, and to the Latin America community interested in Erasmus Mundus. So you will be hearing from us more often now. So, thank you very much. Ya nos vemos. Un abrazo. Adiós.